Shalom, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High God Yahweh. I do so by Hashem Mashiach Wamalak Yahweh Shai. That's all praise to the Heavenly Father Yahweh. And that's in the name of His only begotten Son, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus the Christ. This is War Dog Ratazach from the city of SICARII, New Jersey, New York. Back with another video. And what I'm going to be talking about... Damn cat. What I'm going to be talking about today is diligence. Go, what the heck? Why is the kitty over here? Come on now. Come on, go, shoot. Anyway. These cats. So we're going to talk about diligence, right? And, you know, how we need to have, we need to be diligent in this truth, right? And when we're in this walk, right? Very important to be very diligent, right? So we got to have diligence, right? So the first scripture we're going to go to is 2 Peter 1:10. Right? You know, we at the end, and it's time that we get really serious with everything that's going on. Right? This is 2 Peter chapter 1, verse 10. Wherefore the rather, brethren, give diligence to make your calling and election sure. For if you do these things, ye shall never fail. Right? So like I say, you should never fall. Right? And us being in this truth, right? Even though it's not an easy walk, right? We don't want to fall, right? And I've seen a lot of great men that have come and go. You know, they come to this truth. They think it's all good. It's a game. And then they end up falling by the wayside, right? Because why? Because Satan come quickly to take that word away that was sown in their hearts, right? So you don't want to fall into the adversary, the devil, right? You don't want to fall into darkness, right? You want to shoot evil, right? So that's what we need to do, right? We need to hasten ourselves to be diligent in this walk, right? So rather it says, give diligence to make your calling and election for sure, right? So you gotta give diligence. Let's go into this to the Strongs, right? This is G4704. This is the Greek word spadazo, which means to hasten or to make haste. So right, we need to make haste when we come into this truth, right? And you see, right, I've seen videos. I was watching a video the other day where a sister, you know, she was like, oh, now that we're in the midst of World War III, now it's time for me to be a woman. You know, it really shouldn't be no excuse. You really shouldn't want to be, you want to be a quote unquote woman because World War III is happening. You should do it because the Most High requires you to do so, right? And I'm not trying to get at the women only, right? Because it's both Israel, men and women, right? You men that now y'all want to be men and take care and govern your homes, because we're in the midst of World War III, right? Now you're just doing it because, now you're scared? Well, you should have had fear for the Lord from the beginning, right? You should have always feared the Most High Yahweh, right? And it is a scary thing for, to like really go against the Most High. Really, you should not be going against the Most High, first and foremost, right? And just because we're in the midst of World War III, now you want to act right, now you want to do good. Now you want to be a Hebrew Israelite. Now you want to put on your fringes, right? Because now you're scared. Oh, I'm gonna die. But like I even said this too, man. There's a lot of Israelites that you're gonna see being thrown in a lake of fire because you're not sincere. You're not diligent in this truth, right? You don't have the faith. You're just doing this just to be seen of men, or you're just doing it because, oh, now I want to do it because it's last minute shit. And that's why nobody knows that day nor hour. We don't know. Right? That's why we do it. We rehearse the righteous acts. If you're just doing it just because shit is going crazy and shit hitting the fan, nah, bro. You got to do it because you want to do it, because the Most High requires you to do it, and because you love the Most High. Right? Because keeping the law is loving the Most High God. Man, Salaki, this cat, man. This cat keep bothering. But you do this because you love the Most High God. Right? And as a nation, this is our heritage, right? This is what we're supposed to do. Right? If some shit got to kick off for you to act right, then you just an off-ass person, right? You're not being sincere, right? You don't have diligence, right? Let's go into the matter of fact, no, I got a precept real quick before I bring this out, right? Let's get Psalm. This is the book of Psalm, chapter 119 and verse 60. It says, I made haste and delayed not to keep thy commandments. So we're not to make hate. We're not to make haste, right? And it says, right, so like it says, so like we are to make haste. So like we are not, We're not to wait to the last minute, right? We are to make haste, right? Because like I read, Strong's G4704, it says this is spadazo, which means to hasten, right? Or to make haste, right? To make haste, right? So we are to do what? Psalm 119 and 60. I made haste and delayed not to keep thy commandments, right? Let me go to verse 59. I thought on my ways and turned my feet unto thy testimony. So we got to think about the things that we do and really ask ourselves, am I doing it for me or am I doing it for you, Most High? Right? So we have to make diligence, right? Let me go into the, there's another one. Strong's H2742. It's Karawatazah. Karawatazah, the Hebrew, right? It means sharp pointed, right? To be sharp pointed, sharp diligent. So we gotta be sharp when we're in this truth, right? You have to be you gotta be as like a double-edged sword, right? You gotta be sharp and quick with it, right? Like I had the nickname when I was at HOI. It was one brother, it's one Levite named Kwam Loya, right? May the Lord be with him. I don't know wherever this brother is. May the Lord be with him. Where I haven't heard from, like I said, I've seen a lot of people in the truth. I haven't seen a lot of brothers, staying in this truth or whatnot and being diligent in this truth. But Most High knows what's going on in these brothers' lives, and all I could do is pray for these brothers. But the brother named Kwam Loya, right, Levite brother, gave me the nickname of Makayak Hara, which means the quick sword. Right, so we got to be quick. We got to be sharp, right? Wise as a serpent, right? So you got to be sharp pointed, right? Sharp, and which means you're diligent in this truth, right? You're bright in this truth, right? You got this wisdom, right? It makes your face to shine. It gives you that special, gives you that special consonance in your look, right? So that's the word karawataza, which means sharp pointed, right? So we have to be like that, right? We have to be sharp on our P's and Q's when we're in this truth, right? Let me get the Strong's G4710. It says spaude, right? Which means haste, with haste, earnestness, diligence, right? So this is another one. This is the Greek spaude, right? Also as just like spadazo, right? Spaude, right? So it's also with haste, right? So we have to make haste. Let me get another precept real fast. I believe this is where it's at. I think it's Rack 5. I'm trying to remember. Yeah. Sirach chapter 5 and verse 7. Make no tarrying to turn to Yahweh, and put not off from day to day, for suddenly, right? You don't want to tarry. You want to make haste in this truth, right? See the cat? Cat annoying. It say, for suddenly shall the wrath of Yahweh come forth, and in thy security, right? When you feel like you're safe, thou shalt be destroyed. Right, so you don't want to do this because I'm scared and I'm doing it because I'm just afraid and I just want to do it just cause, right? You want to do it because you love the Lord and you want to be delivered. But if you're doing it because now you feel like I'm safe now, I could do it because I feel safe. No, the Most High gonna destroy you because you're not doing it because you're not doing it for the Most High, right? You're doing it in an act of cowardness, right? You're not really making haste to keep these commandments. Right, you're not doing it to honor the Lord. You're not even doing it really because you're sincere in this. You're not sincere, right? You need to be sincere and stop putting off day to day from following the Most High, right? And it says, and in thy security thou shalt be destroyed and perish in the day of vengeance. So when that day of vengeance comes, right, because you was not diligent, right, because you was not you wasn't keeping the commandments, you lacked the wisdom, right? You wasn't occupied and meditating on prophecies. Then the Most High going to destroy you, right? It don't matter if you got your fringes. Your fringes is not going to save you, right? Fringes is how we keep, it's a part of the law, keep your wisdom. But just because you got on fringes, that don't mean nothing. You can't just be a Jew outwardly. You got to be a Jew inwardly, right? It's not just about the outward appearance all the time, right? Yes, the Most High looks at your outward appearance, but you also got to be an Israelite inwardly, right? The circumcision of your heart. Right? Let me get that real fast. You got to be a Jew inwardly than outwardly. Because, when you go to, this is Deuteronomy 10 and 16. Circumcise, therefore, the foreskin of your heart, which means the renewing of your mind. You got to change your mind. You got to transition yourself, right? And how do you do that, right? How do you do that, right? It keeps saying it's, and be no more stiff-necked, right? When you stiff-neck, you can barely turn your head, right? You go to Psalms 119. in verse 9, wherewithal shall a young man cleanse his way? By taking heed thereto according to thy word. So that's how you're going to transform and renew your mind, right? So we're going to get another word. This is Strong's G4692, spudo, right? Which means to haste, make haste, to desire earnestly. So you got to have a desirement, earn an earnest desirement to keep these commandments, right? Because why? You got to have this faith, right? You got to keep the faith alive, right? This is Revelation 14 and verse 12. Here is the patience, right? The desirement, right? Because we desire this, right? Here's the patience of the saints, and we the saints of the Israelites. Here are they that keep the commandments of Yahweh and the faith of Yahweh Shai. So these are brothers and sisters that keep the faith alive, that keep the commandments, right? We are the ones who the Most High is gonna look at, right? And Most High he's requiring the Israelites to really come back and to keep these commandments, right? Remember, 1/3 of us in America is gonna 1/3 is gonna make it out of America, and you got the multitude of others that's gonna make it out of the other countries as well. But Most High is requiring us to make haste and to have a desirement, earn an earnest desirement to walk after His ways and not America's ways, right? You got to put off from all of the wickedness of the world, right? Because if if you're a friend of the world, you're an enemy to God. So like it real quick. Who you know drink coffee out of a blue cup? my wife is special. But anyway, yeah, we're gonna get some precepts, right? Let's get some let's get Hebrews 6 and 11. All right. This is Hebrews chapter 6 and verse 11. It says, and we desire that every one of you do show the same diligence to the full assurance of hope unto the end. So we gotta endure, right? You gotta have that hope unto the end. You gotta have that desirement to make it to the end. Right? It's not like these Christians say, I'm saved right now. Nigga, you ain't saved. If a bomb hits you, you ain't saved. You're not. Just because you say, I believe on Jesus, that don't mean shit. The devils believe too. Are they getting saved as well? You got to make sure that you endure. Right? Put that whole armor on by keeping the commandments of the Most High God, Yahweh. Right? Damn, I didn't bring my GNT with me, but we're going to get Proverbs 10 and 4. I'll just read it, through the Spirit, just only the KJV for now. I didn't bring my GNT, Salakia. I've been traveling a lot. This is Proverbs 10 and verse 4. As you can see, I'm not even in my home. Well, this is my other home. It's my second home. That's another story. This is Proverbs 10 and 4. It says, he becometh poor that dealeth with a slack hand, but the hand of the diligent maketh rich. So, having that desirement. If you want to be rich, you got to desire to make money. Right? If you ain't got no desirement to make money, you're always going to stay poor. But you got to go to work. You got to work towards that. It's not just praying like the Christians do and they just sit there and pray and then they don't do no work. You got to pray and do work. You got to make that prayer manifest too. Right? The Most High tells us to make things manifest. Right? You can't just sit there and pray and expect that the rain is going to fall because you're just praying. You got to, you know what I'm saying? Let me not use that metaphor. You can't just pray and expect that things are just going to fall right in your lap. You got to go and do some work, right? Abraham had to show his faith by doing what? He about to kill his own son. He about to sacrifice his own son. He showed his work. He showed how much he had faith, right? You faith without works is dead. You can't just say I have faith and not show works for it, right? Show me a person that has faith without works. Show me that, and I'll show you my faith by my works, right? Because you can't show me no faith without no works. One can just talk about it. But you got to be about it. You can't just talk the talk. You got to be able to walk the walk as well. Right? Go to 2 Peter 3 and 12. All praises. But when you get a chance, read that in the GNT. Proverbs 10 and verse 4 in the GNT. Powerful, man. Y'all know I love the GNT. It's my favorite. This is Proverbs. This is 2 Peter chapter 3 and verse 12. It says, looking for the hastening, for the hasting until the coming of the day of Yahweh, right? Looking for and hasting, right? The hasting meaning what? To come quickly, right? It says, wherein the heavens being on fire shall be dissolved, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. That's talking about the missiles when they're gonna fall from the heavens, right? And they're gonna do what? Destroy. Verse 13, nevertheless, we according to his promise, the Israelites, because we are by promised, right? It says, for looking for new heavens and a new earth, wherein dwelleth righteousness, right? That's where where righteousness is going to dwell, because we're going to have the new heavens and the new earth, right? Meaning what? The rulership going to be ours, and the heavens is going to be ours, right? Everything's going to be ours. Ultimately, it's of the Most High. The Most High is giving everything to us, right? Verse 14, it says, wherefore, beloved, seeing that ye look for such things, be diligent that ye may be found of him in peace, without spot and blameless, right? You got to be without spot and blameless, right? Be like a virgin, basically, one that's untouched. Meaning you're not being conformed to the image of the beast, right? You're not following after vain doctrines. You're not following after other doctrines, right? You're not mixing yourself with strong drink of the world, right? You're not mixing yourself with this strong ass liquor, the strong wine and all of that, right? The unfamiliar drinks, right? That Babylon has to offer you, right? We're not with that. You know what I'm saying? We have to rebuke that by Shema Mashiach Yahushai, right? You want to stay blameless, meaning what? You keep that perfect walk, right? Keeping the commandments. That's how you stay blameless, right? And there's many accounts of brothers and sisters that was blameless in this truth. And we ought to do the same thing. That's why we have to keep the commandments and have faith in Yahushai, right? If you love God, you keep the commandments, right? 1 Peter 1:9. 1 Peter chapter 1, verse 9. Receiving the end of your faith, even the salvation of your souls. Right? Verse 10. Of which salvation the prophets have inquired and searched diligently. Right? We've searched this diligently because we want to get we want to get the hell up out of here. Right? You already know what's going on. If you don't, you've been living under a rock, and it's time that you turn on the TV. Right? You ain't got a TV. You know what I'm saying? Go on your phone and look up and look all this information up. And if you ain't got neither, I don't know how the hell you watching this. You're probably in the library or whatever. However you're watching this or whatever the case is, man. Listen, we have no excuse, right? We have people we talk to. There's, you know what I'm saying, news stations and all of that, radio stations, right? Everything, there's things that is going on in the world, and we've been prophesying this for a long time, right? Since the elders have been doing this for a very long time. And they've been constantly enduring, right? Double honor to the elders who are constantly enduring this faith, right? For the second coming of Yahushai. And those of you that are new into this truth, shalom to you all too, right? And make sure that you guys are keeping this faith alive and enduring until the end, man. Salakia. Salakia. Let's get 2 Chronicles. 2 Chronicles chapter 15. Chapter 15 and verse 7. It says, Be ye strong, therefore, and let not your hands be weak, for your work shall be rewarded. So our work gonna be rewarded in the end, because why? We're keeping the faith alive. We're keeping the works until the very end. We have to keep enduring, right? That's the ultimate goal, is to have faith and endure, right? Keep that diligence alive and remember to remember that word spaude, G4710, right? Earnestly, right? To have earnestness, make haste, right? To be diligent in this truth, right? And you're gonna get rewarded, as 2 Chronicles 15 and 7 say, right? Let's go to Proverbs 12 and 24. Proverbs 12 again. Best to read this verse in the GNT. Beautiful. We're gonna read 24. We're gonna read 27. It says, "The hand of the diligent shall bear rule." Right? That's who's gonna bear rule. Right? Remember what Yahushua said. He said, "You too. You 12 are gonna sit on 12 thrones, judging the children of Israel." Right? And that's the 144. We're gonna judge you know what I'm saying? We're gonna make judgment. They're gonna be the higher class, the higher uppers, right? They're gonna be the ruling class. Right? You gotta have a ruling class always, right? The generals, the government, right? The principals, right? The presidents, right? So Proverbs 12 and 24. The hand of the diligent shall bear rule, but the slothful shall be under tribute, right? And you don't want to be that slothful person that's under tribute. You don't want to continue with being a slave to sin and all of that, right? You don't want to continue that. You want to get away from it, right? Because if you are a slave to sin, you a slave to your damn self, right? You a slave to, right? You don't want to continue in this walk, man. You don't want to continue with being worldly. You want to make haste and have that diligence and come back to the truth, right? The second coming of the Messiah is on its way, man. Salvation is right around the corner, and y'all gotta stop slacking, man. Right? It's time to pick up the pace, man. It's time to make haste and start putting on that armor of the Most High. Right? Go to verse 27. It says, "The slothful man roasteth not that which he took in hunting, but the substance of a diligent man is precious." Right? A slothful man, he when he goes and captures something and he's not gonna roast what he took in hunting, like Esau. Right? They don't even bother cooking the meat. They just eat the meat right there. Right? You a slothful ass person, and you're not gonna right. The Most High is not looking at you. Right? And then the scriptures tell you that you're not supposed to be eating blood. Better go cook that thing up, man. Stop being so goddamn slothful. Stop being a lazy bum. Right? The Most High does not require bumness, man. He's not. Nobody wants to have be friends with no bums, because you know they say when you hang out with 7 bums and you're the 8th person, right? Guess what? You're that 8th bum. Stop chilling with bums. When you hang out with successful people, you're gonna be the other successful person as well, right? The Most High is not. He doesn't require bums. He wants strong, diligent people. He wants people that actually want to keep and follow the laws of the Most High and endure to the end because they want a crown of salvation. I want a crown, man. I'm fighting for my crown, right? And every day we have to endure and constantly make diligence, right? Let's go to 2 Peter 1 and 5. You can also read this in the GNT. Whenever y'all get a chance, you know what I'm saying? Pull out your GNTs and read. Right? Oh, I'm sorry, 2 Peter. I'm in 1 Peter. I always get that confused. 2 Peter chapter 1 and verse 5. It says, "And beside this, giving all diligence, add to your faith virtue, and to virtue knowledge." So you gotta keep adding that knowledge to you, right? Keep that fuel. Keep putting more fire, more coals in that to keep that fire alive. Keep that fuel going, right? Never run out of fuel. Just keep adding on to it, right? With knowledge comes more responsibility as well. Verse 6, it says, "And to knowledge temperance, and to temperance patience, and to patience godliness." Right? You gotta have that God. You gotta be godly in this. And what does it mean to be godly? By keeping the law. Right? The Most High gave it to us, but to be what? We are the gods of the earth, right? And you can only be a god when you follow after what God gave you, right? The Most High requires you men are the gods of this earth. You black and Hispanic, y'all the real rulers of this earth. Y'all are the gods, right? And I'm gonna be blunt, as I always blunt, but right. But this is just this is something that is very important to understand. When us men are in order, the women naturally are going to follow. They ain't got no other choice. They're going to follow you because naturally a woman follows after the man. That's why the Most High, he's not really punishing the women. He's punishing the men because we have to get it right first so the women can follow after us. That's diligence, right? So let's get Zephaniah 3 and 16. No, that's Zechariah. Zephaniah chapter 3 and verse 16. It says, "In that day it shall be said to Jerusalem, fear thou..." Salaki, do I want this? Is it 360? Yeah. It says, "In that day it shall be said to Jerusalem, fear thou not, and to Zion, let not thy hands be slack." So you can't have this. You can't have slackness, man. Most High is not. He ain't with the bullshit. He's not with niggas that's gonna be slacking. Oh yeah, I keep the law, but I don't really want to do Passover right now. Oh yeah, I keep the law, but I don't wear my fringes. Oh yeah, I love God. I love the Most High, but I don't do nothing that they say. So you slack, and you know what I'm saying? You got your hands in your pocket when your hands should be on when your hands should be going to work, right? Your hands shouldn't be lazy. Remember, we have the power to create, so your hands should always be doing something, right? Don't be lazy. Don't be slack. Put off that slackness, man. Get off your ass and stop with the bullshit, right? Let's get Romans 12 and 10. It's the book of Romans, chapter 12, verse 10. Again, you can read this in the GNT. Be kindly affectioned one to another with brotherly love. And that's very important. When it says brotherly love, it's also talking about sisterhood as well. That's one thing that needs to grow too, is the sisterhood. Right? Yeah, you sisters too, you need to have diligence in this truth as well. It's not just the men. Right? In honor, preferring one another. Not slothful in business, so we can't have slothful hands when we doing business together. Right? If you want to start a business, you can't be slothful. Right? You want a business, you got to make sure you all in it, man. Right? If you want to see something grow, you got to get uncomfortable to get comfortable. Nothing grows in a comfort zone. Right? And it says, fervent in spirit, serving Yahweh. Right? You got to serve the Most High. You got to be what? It says fervent in the spirit. Right? So you got to show diligence when you're in this walk, right? As it says in Ratazach, right? To be sharp-pointed and diligent, right? Strong's H2742. Right? This is Proverbs chapter 10 and verse 26. Also, you can read this in the GNT. Proverbs chapter 10 and verse 26. It says, as vinegar to the teeth and as smoke to the eyes, so is the sluggard to them that send him. And you don't want vinegar to your teeth. That's just, right? And then it's like when you put smoke to your eyes and you can't see. Like, oh, shit, it's foggy. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it says, so the sluggard is to them that send him. You don't want nobody working for you. Let's say you're the boss. You don't want nobody that's sluggish. They doing like half the work or 5% of the work or no work at all. They just show up to work and they just there. Like, nigga, you just wasted oxygen at that, at this point, right? You're not even here. You're not here to do anything. You're just here to just show up and show, have a pretty face. Nah, bro. Nah, sis. Get your ass to work or get the hell out of here. Right? The Most High he's not with that. Right? The Most High requires people that are strong and diligent and fervent in spirit. Right? Let's get Proverbs 27 and 17. Right? It says, Proverbs 27 and verse 17. Iron sharpeneth iron. So a man sharpeneth the countenance of his friend. So we gotta make sure that we sharpen up each other. If your brother or sister, they're not too sharpened, like especially as husbands, we have to sharpen our wives up. Right? We have to make sure that we give them a good countenance, right? We have to make sure that what? It says, so a man sharpeneth the countenance of his friend. And your friend, your wife that's your best friend. Right? And your wife, she look at you like you her husband, but you're also her best friend too. Right? So we have to sharpen up each other. She may show you things that, you may not know, and she could teach you something. But our job is to teach them, guide them, protect them, and love them. Right? Iron sharpeneth iron. Understand? And that's showing what? Diligence. Right? Because we are required to do these things because the Most High requires it from us to do these things to please him. Right? This is Joshua chapter 22 and verse 5. But take diligent heed to the commandment and to the law. This is the most important thing, right? But take diligent heed unto what? The commandments and the law, right? Keep the laws, statutes, and commandments of what? It says, which Moses, the servant of Yahweh, charged you. So we are charged to keep the commandment, right? To love Yahweh your God and to walk in all his ways and to keep his commandments and to cleave unto him and to serve him with all your heart, which means your mind, and with all of your soul. So that's what you need to be doing. So you got to earnestly keep these commandments, make haste, and show diligence, and be fervent in the spirit. And with that, I give all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High God Yahweh. I do so by Hashem Yahweh Shai. Say shalom. Call me Asha'Allah. Links down below. Y'all know what to do. Shalom. Like and share the video, Baba Kashah. Yabaraka Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. Shalom.